So welcome back to another Browns episode of the franchise. So we just went and played that game between the Ravens. We sucked, we lost, our defense is terrible. But anyway, let's go and move on and do some simulating. So first, I'm going to go and simulate up to week 16. We play the Chargers at home. I'm going to play another home game before the end of the season. But anyway, let's go and get this simulating right underway. So we're finally in week 11 in the NFL season, but it looks like somebody's claimed from our practice roster. So Malcolm Mitchell was claimed off our roster. Let's go and quickly add somebody and make sure we make him get replaced. So I don't know who Malcolm Mitchell was, but he must have been decent if he got claimed. So let's go and add let's just add maybe cornerback Steven Nelson. Why not? Just go ahead and add him to the practice squad for now. Doesn't really matter too much the practice squad, but so let's go and get right over there and check if we need to go make any changes. I doubt we really need to. Our team kind of sucks at this point of the season, so we don't really need to make too many changes. Our players are not injured, so that's the good part. So let's go and move on to... Actually, we could probably check out the standings. Actually, no, we'll check this out later. Let's go move on to week 12 of the NFL season. Let's move on to week 12 of the NFL season. Check out this game between the Steelers and the Browns at home. First Energy Stadium. We better claim this W, man. We're terrible on this season. We gotta go and at least win a few games here. He's lost like 4 in a row, I think. So it's pretty bad with the Browns right now. But, I mean, we win some, we lose some. And looks like we lost another one. 3-8 on the season. We're terrible, man. Holy crap. So we're bottom of our division as expected. 4-6 Steelers, 4-6 Ravens, and a 6-4 Bengals. And let's go and check out this I guess this box score between the Steelers and the Browns, because I don't know we played really that well at all. We lost 35-28. Okay, so a close game, lost by a touchdown. Let's move on to the player stats. So let's see, check out our quarterbacks. Go to Browns. So Cody Kessler, a decent game. Actually, no, he had a terrible game. 311 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, 66.3 passing rating. Now it's gone to rushing. So Duke Johnson, 60 yards rushing, 21 attempts, 3 per carry, 2 touchdowns. And Isaiah Crowell had a touchdown and 14 rushing yards. It looks like... What is this? Bro, no, it's just broken tackles. Let's move on to receiving. So receiving, Gary Barnes had a great day, though. Looks like 102 yards, 8 receptions, and 0 touchdowns. But Beckham, 60 yards on 5 receptions, 0 touchdowns. Josh Gordon, 53 yards. Duke Johnson, 44. Corey Coleman, 21, and a touchdown. So, he did a decent game, I guess, for receiving. Let's move on to blocking, though. Who let up some sacks here? I want to know this. Because our team must have let up a few sacks. They didn't. Okay, that's cool. At least it wasn't blamed on anybody. But tackles, Demario Davis, a middle linebacker, led us with 10. Ogba with 9 and half a sack. It looks like Paul Grigor had 1.5 sacks. Mingo had half a sack. And Carl Nassib, the rookie, out of Penn State, half a sack and 4 tackles. So a great game by Carl Nassib, but just not good enough in order to win this game against the Steelers. So, I don't know. Actually, I want to check out what happened at the Steelers first. So it looks like Martavius Bryant had 92 yards and 0 touchdowns. So it looks like maybe the rushing was Le'Veon Bell, maybe. Daryl Richardson, though, 55 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. Looks like he had a great game against us when it comes to touchdowns. Same with Roosevelt Nix. Let's see Roethlisberger, though. 239 yards passing, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. So I guess it was kind of a weird game, but, I mean, happens sometimes. So let's go move on to the next week. Let's see what happened first, see if any injuries happen or anything. Maybe even do some scouting first, because gotta kind of look at what we need for next season when it comes to it. So we have a bye week in week 13, so it doesn't matter about that. But we do have players negotiate. We're gonna do it at the end of the season, just based on we don't really need to do it now. Most of our players that we want to re-sign, I guess, we'll have to wait until the end of the season. But let's go and check out the scouting though. See what we need for our team. So right now we have Colvin scouted out right now. First overall, he's projected to be 6'3". Looks to be a great quarterback though. I know that he's no Bo Callahan, no bust kind of labeled guy, but 23 years old. He looks to be a good quarterback. He's bald. He's got that kind of goatee look to him. He might be good. But let's see what else is on here. So maybe the QBs, we have Kiefer Pollip, we have Richard Rutherford, A.J. Hodgson, Drew Prosell, Kirby Kirkus. That's kind of a weird name. 4th round projected. Let's just scout Kirby. Why not? He's probably terrible. Yeah, he's terrible. That sucks. But anything else? So we need QBs for sure. We need a fullback. Don't really need to scout that. A center, though, is needed for sure, though. We're terrible at center. Check this out. So Malcolm Tipton. At the rate we're going right now, we have the 1st overall pick. So that's something. But Malcolm Tipton, though, let's see him. Gotta scout him. Why not? So the late 2nd rounder. Okay, he's got some decent talent on him. 22 years old, 6'3", 299 pounds. I don't really know if we really need one, though. We have a young guy like in the mid-70s right now. But what else we need? We need a right tackle for sure. What about on the defensive side? So looks like we need about everything on defense except when it comes to our secondary besides the linebackers. So we need a left end, a right end, but I don't really need a left end though. We have Carl Nassib, who's looking to be really good this season. Kicker we need for sure. I don't know. Let's see middle linebacker though. See his linebackers. There's got to be at least one good linebacker on here. I got Dillard Ogletree. Okay. 6 feet tall. 6'2" Heath Geathers. Let's go to defensive tackle though. I want to see this. So Deontay Finney. I don't know if it's a good idea to maybe wait until the scouting, or not the scouting, the draft combine is done, because usually that tells a lot about a player. But at the same time, it doesn't tell everything about the player though. Left end we had Stanley Crowder. Leo Simmons. Let's see Leo Simmons. He's got a good name. Name of a great left end. But Leo Simmons, he's a late second rounder when it comes to talent. Okay. That's good. Anything else? So we have 268 points on here. We're projected 6th overall, though. I thought we were like one of the worst teams in the NFL. Okay, that's kind of weird. Maybe there's teams that maybe haven't even won 3 games. Like maybe 2 games, even 1 game. It's going to be some pretty bad teams here for 6. But halfback, we're fine. We got 2 good halfbacks. Quarterback, though, we're kind of, I don't know if we're really iffy on quarterback. Cole Colvin could be the guy to end off all the bad string of quarterbacks when it comes to Manziel, Tim Couch, all the terribles. Just comes and ends when it comes to Cole Colvin. But we don't need to resign anybody, so let's go and move on to the next week and check out this game against the Giants. So we're probably going to get destroyed by the other Beckham, Odell Beckham, compared to Dorial Green Beckham. So Odell Beckham's probably going to destroy our team, but we got to at least win 1 game, though. 4-8 maybe, I don't know. Okay, so now we're week 13 of the NFL season, and we just went and completed the Thanksgiving game against the Giants. So let's go check out what happened in that Giants game. Just based on right now, we're 4-8 now, so it looks like we finally won a game against the New York Giants. So let's go check this one out. So I'm guessing maybe Dorial Green Beckham had a good game. I'm not really sure, but let's go check this out. Oh, this does not look, it is one-sided. Look at this thing. Look at this. How did we win? I have no clue. It doesn't make any sense. Probably defensive touchdowns, most likely. But let's see this. Eli had a terrible game. 67 passing rating, 2 interceptions. And then Cody Kessler didn't have that better, even better of a game, too. 140 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. 57.7 passing rating is terrible. But anything else, though? I guess we could probably look at this. 61% completion percentage, 67 for Eli. And that is what it is. Let's go move on to rushing. So rushing. What happened here, though? So it looks like Duke Johnson, 57 yards rushing on 21 attempts, and a touchdown. Then we have Shane Vereen had a touchdown on 51 rushing yards. Eli had a rushing fumble. That's probably why, too. A lot of fumbles from the Giants. Let's go move on to receiving, though. So Gary Barnes, though, had a great game for us. So Gary, 70 yards on 5 receptions, 0 touchdowns. Let's go check out Larry Donald, 47 yards. Jennings, 43. Victor Cruz, 38. Dorial Green Beckham, 29 yards receiving on 3 attempts, 1 touchdown. Corey Coleman, 20 yards. Anything else? Josh Gordon, only 13 yards, so 6.5 per reception. It's pretty bad. But anything else, though, on here? Let's move on to blocking. Fill up any sacks. So it looks like we had a lot of sacks, so 3 led up by Marshall Newhouse, and 1 led up by Joe Bitonio. Let's go defense. So Demario Davis always led us once again with 10 tackles and 1 interception. Raheem Moore Sr. had 9 tackles. Looks like Barkevius Mingo, 9 tackles and 3.5 sacks. That's crazy. Good game from Barkevius. Our defense played spectacular. But Jonathan Hankins, 7 tackles and 1 sack. Check this out. So Christian Kirksey, 5 tackles and half a sack. Let's see this. Damian Harrison, 1 sack, 4 tackles. Check out some sacks, though. Who less in sacks? So obviously Barkevius Mingo, 3.5. Anything else? I think that's it. So let's move on to kicking, though. So maybe he kicked a few field goals. We didn't even make 1. Okay, so I don't know how he won this game. Makes no sense how he did, but we somehow did. So anyway, let's move on to whatever next we have to do. So looks like we're ending basically like after this bye week. We only have 4 games left. So playoff time, maybe. Actually, no, we're not gonna make the playoffs. Our division is terrible this year, but still, it's not so terrible. The Browns might sneak into the playoffs. So Tavares Jackson, though, we only sign him to a 1-year deal, so it doesn't matter if we release him or not. We probably might have to, actually. So let's go and release Tavares Jackson. It's based on we do not need him anymore, since we do have RG3 back again. So release Tavares Jackson. Now our QB situation is settled with Robert Griffin III, McCown, and Kessler as the 3rd string. Okay, so this week we just passed our bye week, but now we're moving on to go play the Cincinnati Bengals. So obviously, it's a division rival, 8-4 Bengals going against the 4-8 Browns. So we're opposite records. we're terrible this year, so we're facing the top player, being a top team in the AFC North. But I guess we have nothing left to do in here. Let's move on and see Robert Griffin III's first game against Cincinnati Bengals. Okay, so we played against Cincinnati Bengals in Week 14. We obviously lost because we're 4-9 now. But let's go check this one injury after that game, though. Better not be RG3, though. Better not be. And it is. Okay, so I don't know whether it comes to our QBs, but we had the worst luck. Freaking Robert Griffin III, 74 overall. He broke his collarbone his first game back. Are you kidding me? That's terrible. So there's our that's our injury list. We got a lot of injuries on here. We got Raheem Mostert, our top kick returner. We got Robert Griffin III, obviously, broken collarbone. We got Will Hill III. I mean, man, we got a lot of injuries in this team. It sucks, but I mean, you gotta live with it. You gotta move on to the next day and just live whatever you dealt with. But Cody Kessler back in at starting quarterback after 1 week of RG3 being in. It sucks, but I don't know. Let's go. Do you have anything left to do on here? I guess we had to sign another quarterback. I mean, we just released Tavares Jackson. Now you have to bring him back, maybe. We could probably find someone cheaper, though, too. Check this out. QBs. Tavares Jackson. Johnny Manziel. No, don't want to do that. Jimmy Clausen. I mean, he's like the only veteran on here. Is he? He is. So, Tavares Jackson might have to bring him back once again. Might as well, I guess. Bring him back. 1 year, $2.5 million contract. He's back with the Browns 1 week after being released. That's crazy. Okay, so let's go check out this game and see the box score. See how bad we lost to the Bengals. Though. Only 24-21, so it's a close game between the two division rivals in the AFC North. But let's check out this game. I want to see if I guess RG3 played decent in the only game he played after being back from injury. But I guess we have good offensive yards gained. Let's see these QBs though. So it looks like go by passing yards. So Andy Dalton, 58.4 passing rating. He had a terrible day. 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Josh McCown had 142 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. Cody Kessler, 53 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 52.4 passing rating. But RG3 though, he was barely in at all. Oh my gosh, he must have got sacked once and just got clobbered. But man, that's terrible. And then rushing though. So Jeremy Hill, 98 yards rushing. Duke Johnson, 95 yards rushing. 1 rushing fumble. Not too bad, I guess. But let's move on to receiving. So receiving, though. Barely any receiving yards at all. Corey Coleman and Oriel Green Beckham tied at 57 yards receiving. 2 touchdowns for Corey Coleman, which is good to see. Anything else? I guess that's about it. But let's move on to blocking, though. Any sacks led up by us? Man, a lot. So Michael Bowie, 3 sacks, led up Andrew Whitworth 2, Joe Thomas 1, and Eric Winston 1. Let's move on to defense. So it looks like Vontae's perfect, 12 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss, 1 interception. Malaga had 10 tackles, 0 interceptions. Dunlap had 9 tackles, 3 interceptions. Man, that's crazy. Let's see these. Carl Nassib, 8 tackles, 1 sack. It's a great game from the rookie from Penn State once again. So Carl Nassib having a great season, though, for us. Let's check out some other sacks. Paul Kruger, 1.5 sacks, 6 tackles. Barcavius Mingo, half a sack at 6 tackles. And that's about it. Let's see some kicking, though. Do we kick even 1 field goal? We did. 2 for 2 for Travis Coons. Not too bad. Kick returning, though. Andrew Jones, Taylor Gabriel, 56 yards returning. Ricardo Lewis, 23. Punt returning. I guess we had 2 for 24. 12 average. So that's not too bad, I guess. But let's go and move on to the next week. We play the Buffalo Bills, and then we will play this Chargers game on Sunday. So for week 16. But let's go move on and check out this game against the Bills. Okay, so our season is officially in the toilet. I guess if it wasn't in the toilet a few weeks ago, but 4-10 though. God damn, we're terrible. But we're facing the 7-7 Chargers this week, so we might win. But we're bottom of their division, obviously. 9-5 Bengals on the top, 6-8 Steelers second, 5-9 Ravens. We have the 4-10 Browns. Man, that's crazy. We're terrible. But let's go check out the game and see how badly we lost. So look at all those L's though. We lost like I don't know how many games in a row, but we lost the Bills 21-16, a low-scoring game by both teams. But man, we suck though. We're terrible. Let's go move on. Let's check out some of this stuff though. So it looks like Josh McCown, 232 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. EJ Manuel had 163 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. So it looks like we're not even playing our good guys at all. Probably because they're injured. But so rushing. So Carlos Williams, 71 yards rushing on 18 attempts for 1 touchdown. LaShawn McCoy, 65 yards rushing. Duke Johnson, 46. That's basically about it. I guess Matt Flynn a touchdown too. But receiving though, Sammy Watkins 95 yards receiving, 1 touchdown. You have Dorial Green Beckham 86 yards receiving. Josh Gordon 41. Corey Coleman 66 and a touchdown. Anything else? I think that's about it. Let's move on to blocking though. Who let up sacks? So only 1 sack let up by the Bills. Least blamed on the offensive line, which is Cordy Glenn. Okay. Let's go in defense though. So Paul Kruger 13 tackles, 1.5 sacks. We have Christian Kirksey 11 tackles. And who had sacks for us? Looks like Paul Kruger had a sack, 1.5. Shaq Lawson had 1. Barkevius Mingo had another. And Carl Nassib had half a sack, so that's pretty good for us. But 4 tackles and half a sack for Carl Nassib. That's pretty good. Let's go. Oh, yeah, and Preston Brown an interception. Oh, no. Treman Williams an interception. Cool. Well, an interception. So Aaron Williams and Treman Williams. So the 2 Williamses got interceptions in that game. But Travis Goon's 1 for 1 from 27. And that's about it. So let's go move on to the next week. Actually, we don't really need to move on to the next week because we're playing this week. So we're going to go play this game between the San Diego Chargers and the Cleveland Browns. We're 4-10. Let's check out San Diego, though. They must be, I guess they're 7-7. They're not too bad. But who clinched playoff spots? So the Jaguars 11-3. Eagles 10-4. Patriots 11-3. Jets 10-4. Man. So Seahawks 7-7. Chargers 7-7, so it could help them if they win this one. So Chiefs lead the division at 9-5. We have the Chargers 7-7, Broncos 7-7, and the Raiders 4-10. So we're tied the Raiders for like one of the worst records in the NFL. Check this out: Buccaneers 2, Redskins, and the 49ers are 3-11. Come on, I thought we were the worst. So we're not the worst by a long stretch. We still have a few teams that are 4-10, and we got the 3-11 freaking 49ers. Man, we're terrible though. I guess we're 31st just by how many points we scored, but still. Man, we're getting the 2nd overall pick, it looks like. So the 49ers, they're probably looking to draft the QB, and Cole Colvin might be their man. So I'm kind of afraid of that, but you never know. It could be Colvin could be a bust, but I don't see him being a bust. But looks like Sister Valve is back to play again, which we don't really need him to play because Scary Barnes is playing at starter. But that's good. We always need more backups, so it's pretty nice to see. See anyone else, though? Anyone else change their overalls? So left guard, Joel Matonio didn't change. Corey Irvin didn't change. Or Cameron Irvin didn't change. John Greco. I don't think anything else really changed too much for the Browns. So other than that, freaking Josh McCown's our starting QB now. Since Robert Griffin III came in 1 week after being back from like 6 weeks of being gone. Gets himself injured again with a broken collarbones. It's crazy. And even I guess unless it's set off right here, we just scouted a whole bunch of players. We simmed up to week 16 of the NFL season to go face the Chargers next episode. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.